Now we've got a few more clips to add to our timeline, so let me just zoom this back one little step here, make some room for us to edit on our timeline screen, and let's go pick off the other video clips that we want to have in sequence here. Now the next clip I had in mind for our edit is the tent horizon clip, so let me double click on that. We'll open it up in our source window, and we want to set some in and out points for it as well. Now if I just scrub across this clip, we can see that we just have a little panorama across a nice flat horizon. You can definitely see he was pretty much alone out there. And as far as setting in and out points, I really don't need any for this clip, so I'm just going to drag it right down into the timeline itself. Now, of course, if we need to change the in and out points for that clip or add some to it, I can just drag it like we saw with the other clips there from either endpoint. After our tent clip, we're going to go into that ski across movie clip. I'll double click to bring it up in the source window, and in this one he's just dragging his sled right across the frame. Now for in and out points on this one, I'm really only interested in the portion of video where Wave is actually in the frame, so let's just drag it back until he's just entering the frame at the beginning. There I can see his skis just dropping in at the beginning, so I'll set that as an in point, and we'll go and find the end of the clip where he walks off the other side. I'll get a little dragging of the sled in there, and we'll set our out point. Once again, I'm just going to drag that clip right in and add it to my timeline. Now I've got two more clips to add. One of them is the Polar Bears movie. Let me double click this one, open it up in our source window. Now this is a fantastic clip where Wave actually ran into a polar bear with two cubs, which is kind of dangerous. But he managed to get some really good video of it. If we just scroll through this one, we can see the polar bear walking across the ice and the cubs behind her. Now, this particular piece of video also has audio with it. You can see that by the icon in the project window. Now, actually, all of this video started out with audio, but I went ahead and removed the audio for the other clips because in almost all cases with this footage, the audio consisted mostly of wind noise, because that's all there was up there. In this case, I'm actually going to want to remove this audio as well, but this will show us how audio works within the clip. As you can see, it's embedded with the clip, and you might have even noticed as you scrub through the video, you can hear the audio track in the background being scrubbed as well. And as I said before, it's just really the wind. Now let's set up an in and out point for this clip, and we'll drag it down to the timeline like we did with the others. I'm going to pick a point right at the beginning where the bear turns in, right there. I'll set an in point. And we just want some footage of the mother and the cubs walking so we can see all of them there. So I'm going to stop right here where the last cub is peeking out from behind the mother and set that as the out point. When I drag this video to the timeline and set it at the end, you can see that the audio track comes along with it, and it's automatically being placed in a corresponding number to the video track I drag it into. So if I drag it into video 1, the audio is automatically going to be placed in audio 1. Let me scroll down here a little bit so we can see the end of our movie. And as you probably also noticed, if I grab this clip and move it around, the audio is always going to come with it. So actually it's really easy to work with audio inside these clips since it's kind of glued to the video track itself. Now in most cases, especially if we had a video of someone talking or some special sound effects included in it, we'd leave the video right where it was. But in this case, we want to get rid of that wind noise. So let's go through what I've already done with the other clips in getting rid of the noise. I'm going to make sure the clip is selected, and I'm going to go up here to the clip window, and we'll just choose Unlink. What that does is separates the audio from the video. Now if I click away from it and go back in and select it, you'll notice I can select just the audio or the video now, and I can even drag it around and move it separately from the other piece. Now you can see this would be really dangerous if we had somebody talking because now the audio would be completely desynced from the video and it would look pretty funny. Now there are reasons to do this for normal video. One of the reasons is you can change the in or the out points of the audio separate from the video now. But in our case, I just want to take that audio clip and hit the delete key and remove it from the timeline completely. Now pretty soon we're going to be replacing that audio with some music, but let's finish out our edit first. I've got a couple more clips left. The first clip is this Wave movie clip, and this is a nice close-up of Wave, the guy who's doing all the sled pulling in our video, and he's just kind of scanning the horizon here. Now, I personally think this was an interesting shot because remember, he had to shoot all this video himself, and you can kind of see his arm extended here. He's basically holding the camera out in front of him and doing a very slow pan, which is pretty hard to do. And that just makes me appreciate this video footage a little bit more. Now we've just got this pan across here, so I'm just going to clip off a little bit because we don't need quite as much video. So I'm just going to kind of set it at a beginning point here. I'll use my in button to set the in point. And I'll go down here and kind of arbitrarily set an out point. Once again, going back to my out point button and clicking that. And we can just drag our footage right down into the timeline. The last piece of footage also has some sound on it, but I'm going to leave the sound on this one. And this is just a branding logo that Wave uses for all of his projects. So I'm going to double click on that to bring it into the source panel. And I'm going to press the space bar so we can preview that using the playhead at full speed. There you can see we've just got some music in the background and the logo kind of pulsing around. So I'll press the space bar again to stop that. Now in this case, I want to leave the audio connected right with it, and I don't want to set any in and out points. I want to use the whole clip, so we're just going to drag that right down onto the end of our timeline and snap it to the rest of our clips.